to get you started with the software that we're going to use. So a little bit of background on this software. It is really old and it's really not used much for anything other than as a teaching tool. But it is a wonderful teaching tool because it allows you to learn some simple concepts like sequencing and loops and simple logic statements. So it is worthwhile. It's something that is a bit dated in that it was created as the original operating system before Windows. So I think the software itself is probably 45 years old, maybe even more, 50 years old. And in computer time, that is ancient, but again, it is a useful teaching tool. So in order for us to be able to use this old DOS software on a modern Mac computer, we need to work it through an application called DOSBox. So down on your bottom dock, my dock on my computer is on the left-hand side here, but yours will be along the bottom. You're going to see DOSBox. Now, before I even open this up, I need to explain a few more things. DOSBox only allows the files that you create to be saved in one location. And I'm going to show you where that location is and then show you how to allow you to do this. So if you open up your hard drive, the top right hand corner of your computer, there is a folder called Applications. If you open that up, you're going to see a list of all of the pieces of software that are saved on your computer. So what I'm going to ask you to do is scroll all the way down to the Q, and you'll see a folder called QBasic. And if you open that up, you're going to see some other folders. Now, you're going to have one called dosbox.conf. You're going to have a QB DOSBox icon. You're going to have a QB folder, a QB alias folder, and a QB map folder. If you have any other folders other than those five, what I would like you to do with them is just highlight them either together or one at a time and throw them in the trash in the bottom right hand corner of your computer. Again, my trash is a different spot, but you're going to drag yours down here and throw them in the trash. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is to pull down and create a new folder. Now, the reason we're doing this is because QBasic only saves to this location. So I want you to create a new folder, and I want your name on that folder to be just your initials. And I'll put mine on there. So I'm going to save everything I do in this application to this folder. Now, having said that, if you try and do something and it asks you for authentication, it's asking you for that because you as a student login don't have the rights to change what's going on here in this computer's hard drive. But for now, I'm going to give you a temporary password to use. So when you try to create a new folder and it won't let you, or it asks for authentication, you're going to use the username admin, ADMIN, and you're going to use the password HOWL1, Howl1. So those two little bits of information for now will allow you to go ahead and take this step and get it completed. So I am going to clean out whatever's not needed, create a new folder, and I'm also going to ask you to hold down the control key and make an alias of that new folder you created. Then take that alias and drop it onto your desktop. Okay? So those steps are going to be needed to be done before you do anything in this unit. And if those steps ask for authentication while you're doing them, use admin and howl1. So those steps again are throw everything in the trash that's not one of these five folders right here. Just drag and drop it into the trash. It will ask you for authentication. Use this. You then pull down from the settings option here and you create a new folder. You put your initial on that folder. And it's important that you just put your 2 letters or 3 letters for an initial only. And then you hold down Control and you click and you make an alias. And then you drag a copy of that alias to the desktop. All right. Now that sequence of steps again is shown right here on the left side of the video. So if you want to freeze the video and go ahead and try and do that, it's all given to you here in graphic form. That is what you need to do for step 1 to create a spot to save your work. Now, having said that and having done that, what I'm going to do now is open DOSBox. And when you open this application, the very first thing I need you to do is hit the escape button, and that will take you out to put you into a functional part of QBasic. So QBasic is a simple programming application that allows you to do some very simple programming. The computer reads from top to bottom, left to right, just like you would reading a book, and the computer reads the code in sequence. So when we start to create code for this application, the computer will do step by step, top to bottom, and it's going to be up to us to try and create the code in such a way that it loops or sequences or repeats the way we want it to without getting too complicated. So I'm going to create a very, very simple introductory program here, and I'm simply going to tell the program to print. And when you print in QBasic, it just means it's printing to the screen. It's not actually printing a piece of paper. So don't think you're constantly wasting paper. That's not happening. We're not going to print anything with QBasic other than printing to the screen. And I'm just going to say, hello class. Now, having typed that in, you're going to see a little glitch that's in this application, and we cannot fix this. You're going to have to be aware of it and just fix it as we go. And that glitch is every time we type the word or letter A, it puts a backslash there also. So if I type the word class and I look up and I see it, I got to back up and get rid of that. It is a little frustrating, but it is what it is. So there is my program. I'm now going to run my program either by choosing run and start. And there you see it actually ran the program and printed what I wanted. Hello class. You'll see at the bottom it says hit any key to continue. And when I hit any key, it takes me back to my programming window. Now there is a shortcut. F5 does the same thing. So there we go. There's your very first simplified lesson. Now if I want to save this, I need to choose File, Save As. I'm going to double click on these two dots, and you'll see that that takes me right to the QBasic location. So there was the QBasic folder, there is the QBasic app, and there is the folder that I created with my initials on it. You'll have one there with your initials on it, so if you double click on that, you'll see now that you are in the local hard drive and you are in the folder you created. So to put a name on your activity, you have to be aware that you can only use 8 characters or less. And that's 8 letters or numbers or less. So I'm going to call this test 1. And I'm going to hit OK. And you'll see that it saved properly. If it didn't save properly, you're going to get this message right here, file not found. And if this message pops up, you need to go through these steps again because you didn't do it right the first time. But mine saved, so what I'm now going to do is see where it is, and it's actually in my shortcut. So my alias or shortcut takes me back to the folder that I created earlier. So I'm going to go back and look at it one more time. Applications. I'm going to scroll all the way down until I see the QBasic folder. I'm going to open it up, and there is my folder with my initials. And there's my test1.bas, which is short for basic. So that tells me that this is a functioning QBasic file. So those are the steps that you need to follow in order to be able to save your work. If you do those properly, you should have no trouble. And again, remember, if it does ask you to authenticate, you're using admin and the password howl1 to allow it to do those steps for you. All right, so that should get you started. If you now go back to our Tech Intranet page and you click on our class outline, which is Grade 10 Introduction to Computer Technology, you will see a list of different activities. You're going to click on the drop-down menu called QBasic, and then you will see a list of individual lessons that you need to work through. Each lesson has some examples. It will introduce a subject or topic to you, and at the bottom of that you're going to see a task. You do not need to save all of the example work that you do during each lesson, but you do need to save the task because that will be part of your evaluation. So as you work your way through each lesson, you can practice, you can create little programs to demonstrate your skill or to improve your skill, and then you complete the task and save it. I will look at the tasks, and I will also look at challenges which you will do near the end of the unit, and I will post another video in the next couple of days to explain those. So hopefully that's enough to get you started. I'm going to create one more video that will show you how to get help from me when the time comes. but I'm okay with you helping each other. I know you're going to have a teacher there in the classroom. I really don't know what programming experience the teacher has, um, but I know we can work our way through this with a little bit of help from each other, and certainly you can seek help from me, and again, I'll explain that in the next video. All right, good luck getting started with what I just showed you. When that is completed, you can jump into the lessons and you can get going. Good luck. Have a great day.